Would you like to be able to generate true 4K inside of Photoshop with multiple models? Have a history of your prompts? Be able to use multiple reference images and more? Check out the ailab plugin right now. If you're using generative AI inside of Photoshop, there are features that you wish you had, and I recently was made aware of ailab from Pitch Instruments, which brings most of the features on our wish list right here into Photoshop. So it's definitely worth checking it out. Now, this is a sponsored video, but all of these thoughts are my own. So let's have a look and see what it can do. First of all, we're going to start with the stock photo. One of the challenges with stock photos is very often they apply a color grade and you wish maybe it wasn't there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to put a prompt to fix it. By the way, we have a prompt history, and I actually already tried this one out, and it says change color to more vibrant and natural. So if we turn this check mark on, when we write a prompt, it's going to save it to this history. And another thing, notice we have a multi-line box. A nice big box gives us plenty of room to write these prompts. Now look at all the models that are available. One of the things you will notice is it's available up to 4K, and yes, this can generate in true 4K. So we have Nano Banana all the way up to the latest Nano Banana 2. We have Flux all the way up to 0.2. This one goes up to 2K. We had seedream, and then we have GPT Image 1.5. So all of these are available. So right now, this is giving us a little warning. It's telling us, hey, if we generate at 2K, we're not going to have enough resolution, so we're going to lose some quality. If we look at the image, notice it's 3,000 pixels. It also shows us transparently how many tokens we're going to use, and it shows us how many tokens we have and how many we have used. Now this has its own token system. It's not using Photoshop's generative credits. So the interesting thing is if you don't have generative credits, you can actually get them through here. Now we need to go larger, so we're going to go up to 4K. So we've got Nano Banana 2, and also notice we can access Nano Banana Pro here up to 4K as well. This is going to use more credits. It's going to use 24 credits. If I use Nano Banana 2 at 4K, it's going to use less. Now this is interesting too, because you can't actually use Nano Banana Pro directly even inside of Gemini. You have to generate first, and then you can use it. So it gives us some interesting access. So in this case, the create credits are going to be 15 and the edits are 15. And some models use less tokens to create than they do to edit. So in this case, why don't we just choose edit, and now this is going to apply it, and it's going to edit our image. All right, so we've got a beautiful result. These colors are looking great. And we look at this before and after. And if we zoom all the way in, let's double click and zoom in, we can see we're not losing any resolution or quality. But even more than that, we did generate this at 4K. Notice that we have a smart object. If I double click this smart object, this can open it in the full resolution. So now we've got 4K. So we can zoom in. When we're generating at 4K, we now have access to this full 4K. So you could continue working off this 4K image if you wanted, but the cool thing is you paid for 4K, you got the full access. Let's go and just work on these layers though. All right, so something else I might want to do here is I might want to change this guitar to a different guitar. So why don't we use an image reference? So here's a picture I took of this guitar. This is my Fender Stratocaster. Let's make a selection around it, and we're going to drag it into the image. You can also load the image directly if you prefer to work that way. And as we can see, it's quite large. I can scale it down, but I don't really need to because it's showing here as a layer. So we're just going to use it as a layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide that layer. With that layer hidden, why don't we use it as a reference image right here? And we're going to use it with Nano Banana. So we can click layer, and it's going to show here. So we're going to be using this guitar as our reference. Now we can do the whole image, or we can do a selection. Let's grab the selection tool here, and we're going to make a selection around the existing guitar. Great. So this gives us a warning and tells us, hey, we're wasting some tokens here. we're not generating the whole image, so we don't need 4K anymore. We're just working in this selection. So instead of paying 15 tokens, why don't we drop this down to Nano Banana, and we'll do 2K. And we'll do Nano Banana 2, which is the latest model. And notice it's now 10 tokens. All right, let's generate it. So we're going to choose Edit. And it's going to use that reference image of that guitar. All right, and so if we look at this, we're going to notice a couple of things. One, there's no pixel shifting or stretching like we normally get when we work within a selection in Photoshop. And if we look at this guitar, this is my Fender Stratocaster. It's got 6 tuners, it's got 6 strings. That's the guitar. It even says Fender on the headstock. All right, let's try something a little bit more difficult. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change her clothing, but why don't we use this shirt that I just took a picture of on my phone? So why don't we just drag this in, and we're just going to hide the layer, and then we'll get rid of this reference image, and why don't we switch it out for this one? By the way, you can load it from your hard drive as a document, or we can load it as a layer. And I also love that we have the ability to do multiple reference images. So we're going to do this one here. And then for prompt, we're going to change the shirt and keep the hair the same, because this can be a big challenge sometimes when we're doing generative fill, especially when we're doing clothing, is a lot of the time we end up losing the hair. So we can make a selection with either of these tools. I'm going to use this tool here. Okay, so we're just going to go around here. And notice it fills in by itself. Something that Photoshop does as well. Okay, so we've got all those areas here, and we're going to use this shirt. Notice this is giving us a warning. Let's try Nano Banana Pro on this one. And notice it's telling us we only have to generate at 1K. So why don't we do this right now? All right, so if we look at this, look at that. All the hair has stayed intact. We even got the logo on the sleeve. As you can see, it was on there on the reference image. And if we look at this before and after, there's no pixel shifting or stretching. And look at the hair down here. It doesn't change at all. Very impressive. Plus, this is running at full resolution. And if you want to know more about the ailab plugin, check out my link underneath in the comments. Another great thing about ailab is that your tokens roll over from month to month up to 6 times your allocation. You can also try it out for free with 100 tokens in it. Check out my link underneath and let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this? Personally, I think it's a useful plugin that I'm going to be using alongside Generative Fill inside of Photoshop, because there's just some things that this can do that GenFill can't do right now. And let me know your thoughts in the comments underneath. And if you're new, welcome to the cafe. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and you won't miss any of my tutorials. And until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.